go into the town hall meeting for the day. And today's town hall meeting will be a town hall
Yes,
meeting.
it is. Yes, it will be.
Hello, good morning to you.
Good to see you.
Namiji.
Ehu, ehu.
Morning to you. One.
Elder, good to have you here. Good morning. Good morning, sir.
You know, 3 days old. You know what Jesus talk about? Baba God here talk say sometimes when I go feel me. We are trying to put things in the right course before the year runs out. Not be small thing. But God will help us.
Thank you, Elder. Thank you, sir.
This thing that you are talking about me. Is it Nigeria Info FM something on Facebook?
Yes.
Nigeria Info Abuja.
Elder Gwangwo, check your WhatsApp. I've sent it to you.
Oh yeah, no. No. I take my mind.
I've sent it to you. Elder Gwangwo. Hello, good morning to you.
How are you?
Who is this? You just come and you're saying, how are you? Who are you?
My name is Jakes.
Good morning, Jakes. Compliments of the season.
Same to you, Somi. Only you are the great.
Now, you are great now.
That man blocked me and the one can come go to like at the end of this thing. You say he blocked you?
Jakes, so. Love you alone, Namiji.
Happy anniversary.
Thank you, sir.
Like, man, so that's why you're like this. God, man.
He's a senior man in the ministry.
God, man, no.
God, when?
Now, they're warm up for me.
Sir?
They're warm up for me and you now.
I'm sorry, what?
They warm up.
Warm up. Ah.
Yes.
Jakes.
Somi, why did your laugh
Jakes
go
just face
like
front.
Somi, why did your laugh go from
The number you are calling is not available.
Don't worry. What did you sing for Jakes?
The number you are calling.
Wait, let me play it for you. I did my own version.
No, don't.
Special dedication
It's okay.
to Jakes.
Jakes, don't worry, don't mind him.
Jakes, mind me, for the first time, now man they help man, me man no do you.
Hey. Jakes road no dey there.
Jakes, thank you.
Good morning.
That's
Good morning, sir.
Mazi.
Good morning, sir.
No, Iche, Mazi, Destiny, Chima, Anthony. Come on. All right then, Jakes, thank you so much. Yes.
All right,
Effizy.
is it 10:10? Okay,
It's
just
almost
minutes.
10:10. Two more minutes to go. Thank you to everyone who has followed, liked, shared. God bless you. Michael Alba, we see you on Facebook. Says, what's happening, Abuja?
Okay.
What's happening with you? How you doing this morning? Just in case you are just tuning in. Someone said they were just getting into the car. Have you sent them the link?
Oh, yes.
They were asking
yes.
what it is we were sharing.
Yes.
We have a video up on our Facebook and our Instagram handle. Go to Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Abuja. Follow, like, share, follow if you haven't done that.
All right.
On Facebook, same thing, Nigeria Info Abuja. Go there and get in touch. All right then.
Okay, since, it's 10:10 or 2 minutes more. Okay,
yes,
so
and Mazi is here.
Of course, the town hall meeting is back to what it used to be. And this very morning, we're happy to announce to you that Mazi Destiny Anthony is in the building this morning. Mazi, good morning to you,
Good morning, sir. And happy anniversary to Sir L.
Thank you, sir.
So
Thank you, sir.
1 year of tying rapper to sleep.
Another angle.
1 year of tying rapper.
Another angle.
So, I join Abuja people to wish you more beautiful years.
Amen to that.
And may all your desires be granted.
Amen.
So as my senior colleague.
Yes.
We'll come and sit at your feet
Yes, sir.
for instruction.
So, before I said that senior colleague, but I wanted to say, when Mazi said happy anniversary, I wanted to say, Mazi, make this one no touch the thing where you owe me. But when I now say, as my senior colleague, I know comfy ask and waiting they owe me. But it's all good. It's all good. Mazi, you're still my senior colleague. But it's all good, Abuja. Thank you so much, Mazi Destiny Anthony. And of course, still waiting for some of the elders on the town hall, like High Chief Elvis, Professor Dr. Chief Usang for God, and all those who are also on the town hall this morning. But before we get them in the studio, Mazi is already here. I think we'll just lay the foundation for our conversation this morning on what we'll be talking about. Basically, we're talking about land grabbing in the FCT, which has also been a very crazy situation in the FCT, not just now, but for a long time. In fact, as we speak to you, there are also conversations about people in the FCT who are staying in particular houses that they don't know the owner. The owner don't know them. They are just there.
Even in Gwarimpa.
So house grabbing and land grabbing. There was a time in this FCT, Somi, which I know that you are also privy to, and Mazi is also privy to it, that you buy a land, though. You are already trying to build on that land. Somebody will just come with paper.
From nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
There was a time in this FCT bar, Somi, people were buying paper.
Oh, yeah.
You just buy the paper. Where the land is, you don't know. When they are now ready to build, or they are in a situation and they want to sell, they will now go to FCDA.
Or look for surveyor.
Or a surveyor.
Trust the place.
And now say, please, I bought this. They will now start keying in the details. And I say, okay, this is your land there. Na Karo near Jiko, the land there. They will now go there. Sometimes they go there and they get surprised. They go there.
Unpleasant surprise.
There's a full-fledged house.
Occupied by human beings.
And they are telling you that this house, we've been here for years. Where is your document? They will bring their own document out.
And you too, you have a document.
You have a document. Then it's between whose document is more authentic and who has more than who has the other one. I give you a very vivid example. And so you must not want to find out anything about that example. It's just an example.
I'm an investigative journalist, please. I will find out what needs to be found out. Give me the example.
Okay.
Give me the example.
So there's a place in this FCT called Gishiri.
Mm-hmm.
I know the.
So that Gishiri, one time, I used to be, one time, don't say anything.
You used to be an agent?
I say don't say anything. I'm the one sharing.
I take that back. Go ahead.
So one time in that Gishiri, I used to, that Gishiri.
You used to what?
So there were plenty. There were plenty houses in that Gishiri. Until one day, I was at work and they called me that I should please come back home.
Immediately. That
they are about to demolish the place. I said, in what? Like, no. True story. I was just getting there like this, and the next day I saw my place doing. The The
you still have your stuff
the
inside
first thing I screamed was my certificate. But thank God for good neighbors, and thank God that I was also quite interesting to my neighbors. So my neighbors packed all my things, put it in one place, covered it, put some children to guide it, and all of that.
Wow.
Yes.
Before you got there.
Before I got there. Now, what happened? Some days before that day, Mazi, this paper, something that we are talking about, one man came with his paper and a surveyor to check where this land they say he bought this land in somewhere in Metama, and then he came around and said, this Metama that they are saying my land is, Metama is full now, where is my land? They now trace the land to that place. Very massive land. So the building I was staying inside, the ones my neighbors were staying inside, the one other people were staying inside was inside the
that same
land, scattered. Meanwhile, somebody had sold that land to my then landlord, who eventually built for tenants to stay. In fact, another person sold to my neighbor who built that house for himself and his family to stay.
Dear.
It was just a mess. And the man came with his paper and got talking with the so-called person who sold the land to a lot of people. The conversation didn't go well because the man was not even willing to develop. He just wanted to know where the land is and said, you know what, I'm not willing to develop, but since people are staying here, to secure this place, let me fence it. Fence everybody inside. Argument, the man got angry, left. Of course, I think he went to FCT to complain and all of that. And yes, FCT came to check and saw that it was not. And then the man said he wants to develop. My brother, they demolished everybody's house except one house. And the reason why they left that house was that the occupant of the house had just given birth and just came back from the hospital. So when they wanted to enter the house, the woman came out in her birthday suit.
Oh, dear Lord.
They thought, if this is what you... And then the people in charge, someone quickly reached out to the man, and the man said, no, they should leave that particular structure until the woman and her husband are able to provide another place for themselves. It was only the house they left there because of that. So the issue of land grabbing has been on for a long time. But now, the Honorable Minister of FCT,
my man,
also is also speaking on the issue of land grabbing.
And he's being accused.
Yes, but he did not start. If you remember when Wike came to office, Somi and Mazi, he did not start his conversation with land grabbing
at all.
He actually started his conversation about land in Abuja with ground rent. In fact, so much so that he went to the dailies and printed names of everybody who had not paid ground rent.
Well over tens of thousands.
Yes, they'll tell you check. In fact, some people had paid, their money did not reflect, their name was still there. So it was a case of reconciliation. I've paid. Oh yeah, bring your receipt. Bring this and bring that. But while the Honorable Minister was also commissioning vehicle for the police and other security agencies in the FCT to enable them secure the FCT better, the issue around land grabbing came up. And he has been strongly accused by a particular people or a particular family about a particular land that he wants to grab the land from them. Not just grab the land from them, that in fact, he has also allocated that same land to one particular person
that is close to him,
and also linked to him because the person allegedly is a Rivers person. And then the conversation went another way to say, are you saying that because the Honorable Minister is from Rivers State, he should not sell a land to somebody who is from Rivers State? Does that mean that he's been nepotistic about land selling in the FCT? But let's take a listen to the Honorable Minister speak on issues around security, then touch on the land matter. But one of the things that the FCT Minister said that became a strong headline, let heaven fall.
As he vowed to continue demolitions.
But he said that we'll continue to demolish. From there, we would also link up with the conversation with distinguished Senator Ireti Kingibe, who moved a motion about demolition and was seconded by distinguished Senator Natasha, representing the good people of Kogi State. Let's take a listen to the Honorable Minister. We'll be right back. Oh, by the way, before we take the minister's speech, Somi, I think it is only good that we give the Honorable Minister the sheke this morning because his birthday was in some days ago.
So when you were saying why were you saying we should give him the sheke? Because you didn't know about the birthday.
No, I didn't know about the birthday.
So
Mazi was
why
not
were you
invited.
agreeing? What were you agreeing that we should give him the sheke for? Because you're already saying yes.
No, we should give him sheke for. There are so many things to celebrate.
So let's leave the sheke first.
No,
let's give it.
Let's give him sheke.
Birthday,
let's give him sheke. It's good that he added another year to his year. Ladies and gentlemen, this sheke is dedicated to the Honorable Minister of FCT by Sanyasin Wike, a life bencher of Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know he's a life bencher?
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
I said absolutely nothing.
Good.
He's a lawyer.
Honorable Minister, take your sheke. Fill your sheke. Receive the sheke.
Happy birthday.
But with a clause.
Yes, sir.
Honorable Minister, you went to do your birthday in Rivers State.
And left us.
You left us here. Let me not hear that you come back and Oyoyo no touch us.
Man,
you no go like Amo.
See they sweet them. They pay you.
No.
I see they pay you.
No.
They sweet
I see they sweet he go they sweet me. I see they sweet me. Now I saw you they sweet Let's listen to the Honorable Minister.
If I said Eugene Abu said, happy birthday. Luckily, today's not my birthday. She didn't say happy birthday in advance. And so the music didn't rap well. And that's why I didn't dance, because it's not my birthday. If she had said, let's put this big gigs to celebrate me in advance, I would have accepted. So I thank God he did not get it right. Let me say this. I find it very disturbing that a chairman of a council will appear in the public and say he has no capacity to give vehicle to security agencies. I find it very embarrassing. And then you answer the chief security of your local government. To be a city chairman, but every time you go and collect revenue, where is the money going to? It's very, very embarrassing to hear you say you cannot buy a police station, one vehicle. Security is for all of us. You have a role to play as the chairman of a council. I was chairman of council. I built police stations. I bought vehicles for them. I provided water for them. You're not only, in fact, security is the key. So if you have no capacity, then what are you doing there? Thank God you have told us you have no capacity. We'll see what will happen next time election. You are the one who says so, I'm not the one who says so. And luckily, this is a live coverage, so you can't deny what you said. Let me thank all of us who have come here today. Just like the chairman of FCT, Committee on House of Reps said, without the provision of the funding in the budget, it would not have been easy for us to purchase these vehicles. Because the National Assembly places emphasis, just like the President does, on issues of security. We are well provided to provide logistics for the security agencies. We have no excuses. We are building roads, yes. when people are not alive, who will use the road? So people have to be alive before they will use the roads. Yes, we are putting back our schools, but people must be alive before they will go to school. So security is key in any government. The government that cannot take care of their people, protect lives and property, has no business to be in government. So the central thing of government is security. When once their people can have confidence that they can sleep with their two eyes closed, then you know that so many other things will follow. The last 3-4 months, we gave out 50 of these vehicles to the various security agencies. Buy again.
All right, just looking at the time, we need to go for a quick commercial break at 10:25, and it's already 10:24. And after the break, we'll come back and you will continue with that clip. Then we go into the town hall proper. Thank you so much for staying with us. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
It's all talk and more talk. Number one talk station.
This is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
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 is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This 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 is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
This 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 is Nigeria Info.
Nigeria Info.
No matter what it was, for how long it is that you have been on a particular land, if nobody followed up to ensure that you had the right documentation, he says he is following up to ensure that that documentation needs to be in place. It's funny how the entire conversation about I think it was Kingsley Chinda that came up about the one who is said to now own the most controversial of all of these lands that have been in the news in the last couple of weeks, the one belonging to registered under the Polosa company, yes, belonging to the Ogbegbo family, yes, that one. Conversations around that have been back and forth, especially since this conversation started. We've seen it being debated on the floor of the Senate as to whether the minister has a right to do that or not. And of course, we heard just on Friday here the response by the Senate president himself, who says, look, if there is a court order in place, then by all means, whatever needs to happen to that land should happen alongside the. I mean, in agreement with the court order. The problem is if there is no court order in place. Now, in the case of this land belonging to the Ogbebos, the problem now is that there are some documentation issues that have been said to have not been regularized. And that is why this is coming up, right? According to the aide of the Minister of the FCT, he said, okay, this conversation has been going on and on. We've had the likes of Very Dark Man on the matter. We've had the likes of the wife of the late Colonel now. Yes, Colonel Ogbegbo, go on television and social media to talk about this. But he says one thing, that's the aide to the Minister of the FCT, Olalere Olayinka.
Yeah,
he says, provide evidence. Provide evidence. And if you tie that to what the FCT minister is saying, he's saying, if you don't have it, you don't have it. What is wrong is wrong. Now, around this matter of evidence and documentation and papers, we've also had a representative of the family come out to say, okay, it's not like we don't have the documentation. We've applied for this documentation to be given. We've even paid up to 10 million naira to get this RFO. It has not been issued to us. So how can we be in the middle of this, trying to regularize, and then all of a sudden we're seeing that it has been allocated and RFO has been issued out to some other company, which they said is not to be in existence, but by the time they did dug, it was tied to the purported Rivers man, right? So these are the issues with all of these things. It's a question of who has documentation to back it up.
It's not about just who has documentation. So, it's also about what you put forward to the law when the law is requesting for you to prove ownership. It's just like you are driving a vehicle that is not your own. The first thing you have been asked if you are accosted is whether you even have a driver's license to drive. And when you present that, the next question is, where are the papers that shows that car is in your name? And that's where the conversation starts from. And when it's not in your name, it's either two things. It's either you are driving the car on the owner's authority, or you are driving the car not on the owner's authority. Yeah. And that's what it is. In this case, it's more like, you know what, you own this land. Whether you've stayed here for how many years?
36 years.
Or 36 years.
Is the conversation.
Of course.
Before they started trying to regularize.
Yes.
36 years.
And then it's as simple as, what do you have to prove that you own this place for the last 36 years? Does it comply with what the authorities, who are custodians of the land, look to have it? Again, you also want to look at the point of the custodian, is that what are the steps and what's the duration that the step carries in regularizing these documents? For example, how long will it take me to get an RFO from the custodian of the land? How long will it take me to get a CFO from the land? Those are other conversations too. But Mazi, you're welcome. Let's hear your take, since you're the only elder here this morning for the town hall meeting as we have it. So what do you say to these things?
Good morning, Abuja. Good morning, Sahel and Auntie Somi. Good to be back home. And
Mazi, your mic.
My mic?
Yes.
Is it on?
Yes.
Okay, it's okay now. I want to say that first, thank you for having us back. And whatever decision the management has taken is for everybody's good, both for the company, the Nigeria Info brand, and for the entire Abuja people. So we are back. Thank you. And the next thing that I want to talk about is on this particular issue. You know, since the River State politics, came up, Nyesom Wike's name, every time is mentioned, people will, some sentimental, things will pop up. It could be because, for me, I don't, like I said before, I do not support the politics, the way they are playing it in Rivers. I feel like he's no longer the governor. The guy there should be allowed to do his own thing. He's now in FCT. He should focus. But the reason why I still call him my man is the things that he's doing in FCT. So I'm happy, with him. But on this land now, I want to say this, putting every sentiment aside. Number one, that you have lived on a particular land without the right papers for 50 years, for 100 years, doesn't mean that you are the owner of the place. Wike, I believe, Wike is a lawyer. I believe that the owners, the people who are currently occupying that particular place, they also have lawyers. I feel like that the mistake, this is my personal opinion, that they've made all these years that they've been occupying that place, is that if you are powerful enough or connected enough to get that kind of, beautiful place, if you know around that area, that land, if you put that land up for sale, it will be in the realm of billions. If you are powerful enough to get that space and powerful enough to occupy it that long, you should have done the right thing by getting the right papers to cover that place. Applying for RFO or CFO, whatever, like 2 years ago, for me, I feel like you started the process late. This is Abuja, where people have CFO of land. Somebody can come up tomorrow with another thing, go to court with you. The estate, in this Abuja, you've seen estates full, airport road, full demolished. Do you understand me? I just feel like they didn't start the process on time. I heard that the colonel is late now. It could be that he had the connection enough, to get the place. But now that he's no more, you know how they say it, that the whatever we no Pharaoh Abi who don't I feel like that is what is going on. It's going to be a tough one for you now to fight and ask the same government who are fighting you to give you the right document for you to really be the rightful owner of that particular place. I feel also that...
But Mazi, do you think that if they also write to the Honorable Minister with enough proof that so this year, XYZ years, we have put in to get an RFO, maybe before he became minister, and this was the delay and the mishap we've experienced in the process, do you think that the FCT minister could maybe raise his leg off the acceleration for a minute?
Sir, remember that every minister, in the way Nigerian politics is being played, everybody, you come with your own team. They asked former VP Atiku Abubakar, Elijah Atiku Abubakar, His Excellency, one time that are you going to favor your friends and so on? And he said it openly, and people crucified him. And I felt like they shouldn't have attacked him. He was honest enough to say, yes, if I'm the president, why wouldn't my friends or family benefit? You understand what I'm saying? If you are the Honorable Minister Sahel, and I am close to you and I need something, somehow that's this thing we play in where you say, you need this, you qualify, you can pay for it. You use your office. It's not like you're giving it to me free. You use your good office to make me also get that. Not like I'm taking government property. If it's something that will cost 10 million, I'm still going to pay the 10 million. Remember that is in the power of the FCT minister to approve and give to whoever he wants. If you feel like he shouldn't be within the power of the FCT minister to allocate lands or revoke, remember he also has the power to even revoke. The one that has CFO to revoke. And he can also wake up and tell you that I want this particular place because we need it for, for the good of the FCT. He could tell you that he wants to build a hospital there. He could say, is it for school? He could say, a bridge is coming, or we need a new road. What can you do? He has that power. So if you feel that power should be taken away from him, I think the next thing that we're supposed to do, amend the constitution where if you are to revoke a land, maybe the people can go to Senate or face a particular committee. Then, because for me, the way I'm seeing this thing is this. People are also complaining because of the person who their land was reallocated to. The Chinda man that is also from Rivers State, allegedly. Yes, that is also from Rivers State. If the man qualifies and he was fast enough to have applied,
and he can pay,
even though you are staying there for 40 years, he can still take it from you. At the end of the day, everybody is still going to go to court, and the court is not going to say, because you've been doing the wrong thing for 40 years. Okay, let me have mercy on you. And so, okay, let's make the wrong thing right. My own position is this. I think that they applied late. If you know, it's just like if you've been to Banex Plaza, you can see the new plaza, the one close to us or Sheriff also. Imagine you had that land like 40 years ago. You didn't do anything, and you are there. Who says developing? Now they are converting many residential houses to commercial plot because you feel like I was connected to, who was the military president then, General Ibrahim Babangida, and you realize I'm IBB man. Now that he's no longer in power, somebody can come up, take that place, because if you bought that land then 10 million naira, today that land is worth over 10 billion. So remember also that the value of that land is going to make it the fight more difficult for you, most especially when you don't have the right papers. Yes, I feel like the only thing I have against Honorable Minister is, the way, like you are saying, the heavens can fall. When he's angry and he can say anything. Well, that has always been his person. But if he's doing something, let's put sentiment aside. Can we remember that the FCT administrative also challenged these people, bring evidence. Can we see your documents? And these people in question have not been able to say, this is the thing. But the only thing we know is that they've applied a few years ago and they've actually gone ahead to pay some money, I think 10 million or so that the right document can be issued to them. My personal position, I feel like they've applied for this too late.
Okay, Mazi, let's address a few things. First
Yes,
and foremost, I want to provide a little more context as to what they have available as the evidence, because again, like I said, Mr. Olayinka has been challenging them to bring evidence, and I also see a detailed statement here by Mr. Olayinka talking about the history of that particular plot of land from when it was allocated and all that. So I'll bring context to that, but I just want to ask, before I bring that context, when you say let's put sentiment aside, is it also possible that the minister can approach this from a more human angle? And here's why. Let me give you the context. Yeah. Yes, indeed, the land was allocated to the. Is it allocated now? The land was occupied and granted to the owners. This land in Gwarimpa with a temporary RFO 40 years ago in 1984. Right. Mr. Olayinka was also saying that the company did apply for conversion to statutory right of occupancy. That's RFO. It had failed to comply with certain conditions for the issuance for the past 20 months. Now let's look at what these conditions are, because we also cannot turn a blind eye to the fact that it is a premium piece of real estate.
Perfect.
And there might be interest in that piece of real estate.
Too much interest with this.
Right? Okay. And so when we're saying, okay, sentiments aside and all of that, they applied late if you want to look at it from that point of view. But it had a temporary RFO. And I believe with a temporary RFO, one can to some extent, sort of like rest and say, okay, I'll take my time and do the proper one,
but
right?
Somi, that's another thing.
Hold on, let me finish.
No, because one needs to also know the temporary RFO.
How
in
long
what
will it
duration?
last? Can you manage the temporary? It's just like
there is that conversation to be had as well. But let me finish giving the context. Okay? All right. So they applied for statutory right of occupancy. This was in 2020. That's why I said after 36 years of being on the place, after they had built structures, rented them out, and according to Mr. Olayinka, without approval from government, right? But in November of 2020, they applied for this RFO. And then, as a matter of fact, on February 1st, 2023, approval was granted for a statutory right of occupancy subject to certain terms and conditions. And these were the terms and conditions. One of them, payment of ground rent per square meter per annum, which was about 50 kilo. Is this 50?
Yeah. You're good. You're good.
Okay, 50 square kilometers. That's the word. Yes. I'm not quite sure about the term there.
50 square meters.
50K. That's 50,000 naira per square meter.
Thank you. Per square meter from 2022 to 2023. And this amounted to about 2.3 thereabouts. Payment of premium of 500 naira per square meter, amounting to about 11 million, and also payment of ground rent from 1984 to 2021. You know, Effizy, you had said this was what the FCT minister started with, ground rent, the publications and all of that. We know that, right? So by the time he calculated the ground rent from 1984 to 2021, it amounted to about 43.1 million naira. Yeah. Now, if you total all of these amounts, you have about 43 plus another 11 plus another 2. It is running, into some serious millions. Yeah. I still within the tens of millions, right? And Mr. Olayinka continued by saying, however, they have refused to comply with these terms and conditions. So the terms and conditions basically came down to meet up with all the outstanding obligations on this land, and then you'll be granted, because there was approval, right? It's just that it wasn't properly granted. Now, let us say, for the sake of argument, 2020 to 2024. Can one say that these people will have been so, how would I put it now? Was the amount so much
that they couldn't
that
pay?
They probably were contesting it, or that they couldn't? I don't know about they couldn't pay because they according to the conversation here, rents were being collected, development was being done, and all of that. Perhaps as we are asking these questions, there will be provision for right of reply from the owners of this property. But the point is this: 20 months is the duration between. Is the duration in between they were trying to settle these obligations, and at the same time the land was further reallocated and another RFO grant
issued.
Right? So, first and foremost, again, temporary CFO in place. They go ahead, they apply. It is approved. It is not fully granted pending when they meet up with the terms and conditions. So the bone of contention here now is that because they didn't meet up with the terms and conditions for 20 months, they were in breach.
Yeah.
That is what Mr. Lainka was saying. So that's why I said, I mean, whether you like it or not, those are huge amounts of money.
Yeah.
That's why I said, is it possible that they could have been given is it possible that this entire saga could have been approached from a more human angle as opposed to just saying you are in breach, and while you are having the conversation about them being in breach, the land has been
reallocated to another person.
Exactly.
Auntie Somi, this is what I want to say. I do not think that property is the only land that this family has in this FCT. You may choose, let's just say, we have Nigeria Info, we have Wazobia, we have Cool FM. Let's say, which of them now is of more economic value to me? Let's just say Sahel says, Destiny, if you don't meet up, you're giving me 20 million, I'm going to take maybe this part, Nigeria Info from you. If, let's say, Wazobia is not giving me as much as Nigeria Info is giving me and Cool FM, I can say, let me sell Nigeria Info to Sam for God. Use that money and save these two. They have other properties, even if there is no money to meet up, because let's just give a rough estimate of, let's say 100 million, the things that they were expected to pay. Sir, that was why I said the value of that land, the position of that particular property is enough for me to let go of any other thing to make sure that I don't default, knowing fully well that you have so many eyes, so many interests in that particular place.
All right, let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll let the listeners in on this.
Thank you.
More news and information coming up. We'll be back in a moment.
Switch on, switch.
This is Nigeria Info.